Hey YouTube, I'm back. This is NG, and today I'm into pretty much the past 2 weeks. Um, I know I haven't really been on YouTube with the videos and such. Uh, wasn't feeling that great. A lot going on at work, at home. Nothing more particularly bad. Just a lot to do. It's the holidays and such. But people have been watching the videos and leaving comments, and I do feel the need to share to stay in the conversation. So just wanted to give you guys a little heads up. Uh, the first thing is, the last video I did was on the LG G8X, and again, great phone, wonderful phone. I no longer have it, but as I said in that video, I was leaning towards giving it back. But AT&T kind of pushed me over the edge with that one. I was leaning towards giving it back, but a part of me wanted to keep it, and I was really trying to find reason worthwhile to keep that phone and pay a whole other extra line just to have it, and it would have been worth it to an extent. But what happened was, yes, always something. Um, AT&T kind of messed with my bill, and they were trying to not upcharge me, but they were trying to have me pay for lines and services I did not need, and that is what kind of drove me to actually return the phone. My bill had gone up by $100, which didn't make sense to me because I didn't add anything to it. So I had called them, and they had said that it's because I opened a third line. Now, as far as I knew, I had no third line because I only had a line for the LG G8X and a line for my Galaxy Fold. Well, they said the line for the G8X, the LG G8X, was there, but it was being held for the phone. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense because I have the phone. And when I went to activate the phone, I was told I need to get a brand new line for that phone. So I said, okay, fine. I was told I need a line. I'll put the line on. But little did I know that line was a third line. The guy at the store couldn't see that there was a line held for whatever reason. At least so he says, or so he said. So when I called them, I had a line held, then I had a third line, and the LG G8X that I had was on this third line. So I said, well, can I cancel the third line and put this phone on the line being held? Because I didn't know that it was there. And they told me no. The line is being held for an LG G8X. I'm like, well, yeah, I know that. I have it. He said, no, not that LG G8X, the other LG G8X. Now, if you guys have watched any of my videos, well, not any, the video where I told the short story of the issues I was having with the phone, long story short, the phone was lost. The original LG G8X that I had pre-ordered, according to them, came to the house at a certain time, but I never received it. It is the holidays or close to it, so I just assumed someone stole the package from my house, from the front porch. It happens. So they sent me a replacement a month later, after I brought it to their attention that my time with the phone was almost up. I was about to be charged full price for it, and I have nothing to show for it. They weren't doing anything about it. They were just going to let it ride, and I'd end up paying for a phone I don't have and a line I don't want. So they sent the new one, but apparently the new one could not be put on the line that was being held for the old one. So I was expected to have both lines and the LG G8X, which might have been okay if I wasn't paying for one of those lines. But then the kicker, because the phone that I bought was a replacement, the promotion that would have allowed the phone to be free wasn't applied to the replacement phone. That promotion was only for the phone that was lost. Because the replacement phone was on a brand new number, that third line, the promotion was only for the line being held. And because they couldn't find that phone, the promotion was over at that time, the new phone didn't fall in line with the promotion. Which, to me, that made, again, absolutely no sense. You sent me a replacement phone. The replacement phone is obviously to replace the phone that was lost. So the promotion should still stand for the replacement phone. And yes, there's a third line because I was told by one of their employees that there's no second line because he didn't see it on my account because it's not actually active, it's being held. But I was charged the activation fee for that line. So I spent the whole day on the phone with them trying to get this whole mess cleared up. And I ended up having to return the replacement phone, which was fine. I had them cancel the third line, and they gave me a credit for it. And the line that was being held, they weren't able to actually cancel that line until they had proof that I had returned the replacement. So I returned the replacement, got the receipt from the post office, called them up, and they were able to track whatever they tracked. And then they went on to cancel the second line, and whatever happened to the old phone, I don't know. But yeah, that's what happened. They were really trying to have me pay for the second line. No, not the second line. Activate the second line with no usage. Have me pay for a third line, and pay the regular price on the phone. Now, I pre-ordered the phone under the impression that it's free. You just pay for it at the line and we'll cover the price of the phone. And I've done that before with my T-Mobile account. I have 6, 7 phones. I got three lines, and I'm paying for them because the phones, they do what they are supposed to do. I don't have an issue paying for something if I'm getting my use out of it. But don't try to not lie to me, but don't tell me you're going to do one thing and do nothing. Then when I call, say you weren't aware. It's in the notes. So they had to reverse all of those actions. My bill dropped to what it was supposed to be. But the issue is, if I didn't call to question why my bill was so high, all of this news about the phone and about the third line, when I would not have been aware of, though they were apparently supposed to be working on that issue. But no one was. When I spoke to the lady, said, "Oh, they did no work on the issue at all." What do you call it? I forgot what they called it. But they did no work, and they're really about to have me pay more than I had to. And it's times like this I understand why people were calling AT&T the Death Star. They just have the worst. Well, I haven't compared them to Verizon and some of these other companies, but compared to T-Mobile, the customer service is not nearly as good. Sprint is also really bad as far as customer service, but I do think AT&T might be the worst of those three that I've experienced. So that happened with the LG G8X. I'm not mad because everything was rectified, and it was just an experience I would have rather not have gone through. But I do plan on getting the phone back. It's currently on Amazon free and the case is free. So you pay your $6.99. You get the phone. You get the dual screen case, and it's unlocked, so I can throw it on my T-Mobile account. So when I'm not rocking the Galaxy Fold, I can use the LG G8X, which again is a very good phone. If you haven't had a chance to use it, play with it, see how the dual screen tech works, you really should try. I don't know where you could actually see it. I have yet to see it in store. No AT&T store or Best Buy seem to have the phone on display. Actually, the few I've gone to don't even have the phone in stock. They have to order the phone. So I don't really know how you can see it for yourself. But if you have a chance, you should. Like in my last video, I said it can hold its own against any flagship out there. And at that price, it's probably the best phone for the money right now. And that's even when compared to the Galaxy Fold. It's a great device. But yeah, that's what happened with the LG G8X and why I no longer have one. It was a very annoying ordeal to go through, but I'm glad that I did. I now understand more how AT&T works and what to expect from them, and being that I will be with them for the 2.5 year duration as I pay off this guy, it's good to know who and what you are dealing with and how to use them and take advantage of what they might try to put you through. You know, bend them to your will to an extent. Next thing that happened during that time, my Fold, and I don't know if any of the other Fold users have experienced this, but it began to initiate ghost touches on its own. It just happened one Sunday, randomly. The screen just began to activate apps. I was on the web. Phone was it? No, it was a End gadget, and you saw the little white dot where it would indicate there is a touch, at least on that app or that site, and it just started to dot as if something was touching the phone, and there was nothing touching it. Same thing with my Amazon app. It began to pull up the menu by itself. In YouTube, it began to scroll through the feed. On Instagram, same thing. For some reason, the phone felt that someone was or something was touching the phone, and I was looking at it right before my eyes. And I said, "Oh no! I really hope this is not some software issue, anything like that." So I went online and I read, and they said it was an issue with the S9 as well, and they said there's some app or something that you download that is for some reason messing with the digitizer of the phone and causing the ghost touches to come on the screen. So I cleared out the cache. I closed all of the apps. I reset the phone, and it happened again. So then I cleared out everything again and reset the phone, and I am happy to announce it hasn't happened since, but it did. So that leads me to wonder what exactly is going on with the Fold. Aside from that, I've had no issue, but if it occurs again and becomes an ongoing issue, is that something Samsung would cover with the warranty? Because it kind of makes the phone unusable. I really wasn't able to navigate my web pages and my apps as I like, because it kept us popping up the menus or scrolling through the feed or opening articles. It was really something. It was bothersome. I mean, it's fixed now, as you can see that there's nothing going on, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again, because if it was just a random thing, it would just open the phone and boom, there it was. So I would have to say, though the phone has been running, it was running perfectly before that, and it seems to be running perfectly after that, it is to be aware that ghost touches do occur on the Galaxy Fold. It's not the worst thing. There's worse things have happened with other phones. So the next thing now is the update on my Galaxy Fold. I'm still on patch from August, the August security patch. A viewer of mine, he goes by the name Critical. Uh, he said he went to a Samsung Galaxy store, or the Samsung Experience store, and they were able to manually update his phone to the most recent security patch. So I took his advice. There's a Samsung store, Experience store, not far from me. He went to the same one, and I told them the issue I was having, and they said, yeah, it's very possible they are able to manually flash the device. They ran a diagnostic on it. They checked the software, the speakers, I guess just to make sure that I can say that during their update or while they worked on it, they broke something. So they checked pretty much everything. That was very interesting to see. But then they brought out the store's demo unit of the Galaxy Fold. And it was nice to see two of them at the same time, as I've yet to see one in the wild, except for mine. And they checked the firmware, and even they were surprised to see that their phone was also on the August security patch. So then they called up another area. Apparently in New Jersey they have an office or a workspace where they deal with updates and stuff along those lines. And they had whoever they called check the Galaxy Fold that they had in their possession. And they too were on the August security patch. So apparently these patches did go out at some point, and maybe they stopped sending them out. Maybe they were causing an issue because of the three devices available to them. All three of them were still on the August security patch. So they told me that yes, they could flash it, but it wasn't going to do anything because the flash that they do, it would change the date to November. But as far as an actual security update and changing any of the software, nothing would happen. They said, it really is probably better to just wait for the update from AT&T or from Samsung themselves for the American version of the Galaxy Fold, because the flash would be not useless, but wouldn't change the firmware of the phone itself. It would just say whatever date they flashed it according to them. So I did have the option to do it or not. I said, you know what? If it's not going to change anything, if I'm not getting any of the Note 10 camera features or any of the actual fixes for whatever vulnerabilities that popped up during that time, then just leave it alone. Because, like I said, my phone is not unlocked, so it wouldn't be getting any of the European software updates, like let's say with the camera and notes and what have you. It would just, according to them, just be a regular security update that wasn't going to alter much of anything at all. So that was disappointing. But again, I learned that yes, when the update is out, if the phone is having an issue, they can manually flash the device, and that way it's out of your hands. If anything does happen, they have to give you a new one, I would assume. But they don't have you sign any paperwork. It was more of a verbal agreement that I allow them to work on the device, and they haven't given permission. But that was interesting how that all worked out. So my Fold is still on the August 1st security update. No update in sight. I checked XDA and other portals almost every day to see if I can figure out anything for this device, any update around the corner, and it would just appear that AT&T and or Samsung does not care much for the US version of the Galaxy Fold. It's sad to say, but it just seems to be true. Even my Note 8, just today, this morning, got the December security update. The phone is 2.5 years old. It's still being updated every month regularly. Now, this update didn't come with any new features, but not all of them do. The last update did. So, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the Fold, why you would have such an expensive device be, why would such an expensive device not be as supported as phones half or even less than half its price? You would think that the price you pay for this phone would put you, first in line for these type of things. For those customers who are willing to pay for your little experiment, as nice as an experiment as it is, you would think that they would, be shown a little extra support with their device. But no, oh, nothing. Nothing. At least not for the U.S. Fold. The European Fold and such, I've read they've got their updates and they're all happy with how it has turned out. But not the U.S. Fold owners, which is very unfortunate. But aside from that, that is pretty much the three major takeaways from this past week and a half, 2 weeks, as far as my phones and such. People still leave comments on some of my videos, and I do and enjoy those. Feel free to leave more, ask whatever you want. I do have some ideas for other videos that I would like to make, especially once things kind of calm down as far as Christmas and the kids and everything else. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching and commenting. If you have any advice or ideas or anything along those lines, please feel free to drop me a line, and I'll be very happy to hear from you. Alright, thanks. This is NG, and this is what I'm into.